All right, we are live. We're in the box, Black Box Radio. Y'all look, I got four black people. I got four black people on the screen, guys. We blacked up holiday edition. I am so happy sometimes to be in the bbR pop-up because it's community news now. So we got three different people who live actually in different places. We got some Baltimoreans in here. We got some Georgia peaches in here. We Tamika, you see that head? And I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, visiting my mother. So this is a real potluck we're doing right here. But it's a holiday edition, and this is the bbR pop-up. We're talking to Otis Untold. It is a performance. What is it? A stage play, Carltaise?
It's a stage play, stage
Okay,
production.
stage
Yes.
play is being staged in Baltimore, Maryland, on December 17th and 18th. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
All right, and I
Correct.
have some cast members, writers. I'm going to let everyone introduce themselves. But I'm Queen. I'm from Black Box Radio. We are a media platform illustrating Black excellence, and we're based in Baltimore. We platform Black people, we expose Black genius, and we disseminate information to all communities, especially the Black community. But tonight, y'all know we popping in, we busting in, and we got Africans on board, and we about to talk about Otis Redding. And I read up on him. He died in 1967, before I was born.
Yeah,
So
December the 10th. Yes.
yeah, at 26 years old,
Yes.
in a plane crash. So I mean, I'm just, and I remember hearing his songs. I never knew he was that young. I
Mm-hmm.
never, I don't know the story until I started reading. He had children. He was married. I mean, at
Three
such a
children.
young
Yes.
age, we don't get married at 55 out here. So he's married at 26 with children, and unfortunately lost his life in a plane that he purchased. So we're gonna jump
Yeah.
into that, but I want to talk to the cast. We got the lead actor. We got Mama Tamika. Tamika, what are you doing in the stage play?
I'm a writer and I'm also directing the play.
Okay, right in the door. You always, I gotta hold down my Black women, so I gotta bring you
I know
out.
this.
Sis, I gotta hold my Black women down. We got these two Black kings with us, and then we got Brother Terrence. Terrence, who are you in the stage play?
I'm playing Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke. Okay, so we got
Yep.
some singers in the building. I hear that. All right, Carltaise, I want you to tell the people who you are, what you do, and let's just tell us who you are, what you do, like backstory, where you from, that type of thing.
Well, I'm Carltaise Ransom. I'm from Baltimore, born and raised. I've always been into the arts ever since childhood. I was on the school choir singing. I got a little couple of singing awards. Always been into acting as well. Started writing plays and songs when I was like 9 or 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
This production is being done under my vision, which is Tamika has been a big part of that vision, and so is Terrence, a founding member of this theater company, the Carltaise Ransom Royal Hues Melanin Manor African Ensemble Theater. Some people say that's a long name, but that's the name that was given to me in the spirit, because that name means something. The Royal Hues is representative of the different shades of our people. Melanin Manor means that we're all welcome, no matter where we come from in the African diaspora, whether we be Afro-American, a continental African, from the Caribbean, Afro-Cuban, or so forth. So it's about bringing us together. The vision of this theater company is to use the arts to heal and empower our people and bring us together. I think I sent you our slogan, which is putting us back together one play at a time. Hence the logo that we have, which was not our original logo. The original logo was like a flag with the different shades.
Okay.
But then we decided on our 5th year to have a new logo, which is the puzzles. It looked like puzzle pieces. And we had t-shirts. On the t-shirts, the bottom of the t-shirt, the puzzle pieces are separated. Up top, you see it put together. And that's why the slogan at the bottom says, putting us back together one play at a time. As far as Otis Untold is concerned, I'm also one of the writers, and I'm portraying Otis Redding. This play started from an older gentleman in the community, Mr. Benjamin Presbury, who I met at Arena Players years ago. He's also in my first film, Speak It Real, which was shot back in 2009. He came to us with a short version. It was only 5 pages long, because his vision at first was just to have it to be as something for like a school program or something to take to senior citizens' homes. So he presented it to me, and we both, Tamika and I, communicated with him. Could we make it longer? Could we add to it to make it a fuller production? So both myself, which you can tell you about, both myself and Tamika wrote scenes for this production. And his part is still in there as well. His part tells a lot of the story, the history of Otis, where he was born and where he grew up, and people that he admired as he grew up, the singers that he admired as he grew up. So you learn a lot of history in this play, like with the whole thing between Otis and Aretha and things like that.
Oh, I don't know about all of that. We got to circle back to that one. Okay, so, Sister Tamika, tell us who you are, where you from. Give us a little backstory on you.
Well, good morning. My name is Tamika Addison. I am from Baltimore, currently residing in Atlanta, and back and forth from Baltimore, Atlanta, and South Carolina. It's a busy life, but just doing a lot. I've been acting and doing theater for as long as I can remember. I don't ever remember not on the stage. I dance. I act like I can sing. You know, I do what I can do. I'm a writer, but my personal pieces I haven't put on a stage in a really long time. Once I started having children, I sort of fell away from that. But my kids got older and I got back into theater. And it's like my passion is just here. And like Carltaise said, we were in a production together at the Playhouse, Death by Chocolate, and he just kept talking about what he wanted to do, what his plans were, and creating a production company that paid us. There were just so many different things that he was talking about that had me intrigued. I was like, you know, every rehearsal and after rehearsal, the production nights, I'm listening more and more. Before the play wrapped up, I was like, I'm in. He was like, really? I said, I'm in. Like, there's no way I can't be a part of this, because everything that you're saying is exactly how I feel. Especially one thing that he said that resonated with me deeply was, to be pro-Black does not mean to be anti-anything. And that hit home, because it's like, we can build ourselves up. We can do so much for us. And everybody else is still fine around us. They build each other up and stand on each other's shoulders and come together and do whatever. And there's no qualm about it. But as soon as some Black people get together, oh, it's a problem. But I love that we're using theater to heal. I love that we're using theater to teach. And I love that we're using theater to get messages out. Because as actors and actresses and writers, we have a commitment. We have an assignment on us, because in every role that you play, somebody in that audience should feel connected. Somebody out there should get something, and if they don't, then you ain't doing it right. So when Carltaise started talking about the Carltaise Ransom Royal Hues Melanin Manor African Ensemble Theater, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So another brother and I jumped on, and we did our first play, and it was the meeting. And Carltaise became his honorary grandfather, Malcolm X. And it was just amazing. So far, we've been sticking it out. We're about to be 7.
Wow.
We're about to be 7. We're about to be second graders here, y'all. But it's COVID slowed us down a lot, but we didn't let it stop us. So we're trying to get back out there. We're trying to give the community something, because it's easy to go and watch a movie. It's easy to go sit in a movie theater and eat some popcorn and watch a movie. But to actually sit in an audience, a live audience, and see a play, and it changes everything. Every night the play is different. Every time you do it, the production is different, because the audience gives back so much, and it creates a different ambiance every single time. That's why I love the stage. I'm going through a lot in my life, but once I hit the stage, I can become somebody else and forget who I was for a minute. I can blow up and be somebody else completely different, but also stay true to who I am and do the assignment that I set out to do. Because like now, doing the Otis Redding story, a lot of people don't know the backstory about Otis, but studying him and figuring out the different things and how people just didn't understand who Otis was. And Carltaise became Otis. That's the scary part, because he became Malcolm, but he became Otis. Like, he's an actor, and I get it, but my brother puts everything into his assignments. He becomes the character. And I've heard him sing. He sings all the time. But when he became Otis, I was like, okay, I had to clutch my pearls, because he embodied Otis, like the voice. He doesn't naturally sing with a raspy voice. Otis has a raspy voice. Oh, my brother found that raspy voice. So to direct him, but we also had a musical director that worked with him separately. It's just an honor. It's just an honor. So for us to come together and be able to do this, and now Sam is here, because that's family right there for me. You know, that's my cousin. But when you hear him sing naturally, he's amazing. So to see him become Sam, I can't wait. I can't wait. That's all I'm saying. Go on, because I can talk. I'm gonna let you know now, sister. I can talk. We ain't even need them for real, because I can give you your 1 hour segment. So let me step aside and let somebody else have a spotlight.
I love it.
You ain't cutting the kings out now.
He says you don't need no king. I love it. All right, Terrence, they left you a little time, bruh. I want you to say who you are and where you're from. Just give us a little backstory.
Well, originally a native of Baltimore, currently residing in Portland, Oregon, as I told you all earlier. But I'm a native of Baltimore. Charm City is where I grew up. That's where my roots are. I got most of my experience in the arts, whether it was acting, singing, everything that I've experienced when it comes to fine arts. My roots are here. My actual, I guess, inspiration was, my mother. She's the one that actually instilled the music, and then my grandmother instilled the acting. She used to be a member of the Arena Players in Baltimore. It's one of the oldest historic Black theaters in the country.
Continuously running, you're right.
Continuously running, yes. Mm-hmm. So from a very early age, I was very much so immersed in the arts, whether it was music or singing, and then also being brought up in a Christian background in church. So I always have had a passion for the arts, even outside of my formal education and my 9-to-5. Like it's something that I always run back to, and it always is giving me an encouragement to want to encourage others and uplift others with those talents and with that passion. So learning about the theater initially from Carltaise, me and Carltaise had actually been friends and doing production together prior to him starting the theater ensemble. So it was just natural for me to want to become a part of that as well, and being a founding member. We've done many productions over the years, but as Tamika said, a lot was slowed down during the pandemic.
Sure.
And so it's just great to be able to connect on another level post-pandemic, outside of doing Zoom calls, because we did actually do a production where we were on Zoom during the pandemic. We did an entire production on Zoom. Really? But now being able to be back on stage with my theater ensemble family is definitely something that I would say is complete. It's making everything complete again. So I'm definitely excited for this production. I'm excited to be back on stage in this role as Sam Cooke, because when I first met Carltaise, it was a production that I was doing with my godmother, actually, and my aunt. She was the writer and director for a play that she did, Sam Cooke. It was actually based off of the life of Sam Cooke, and Carltaise played my best friend in that production. And we got to do that production in a few different places in Baltimore. Then we actually took it to the Kennedy Center for Page to Stage. So it was definitely a great experience. First making that connection with Carltaise, and then being able to see how our relationship has developed and still working together even to this day. And that was probably 2015?
Yeah, it was 2015. It was like in October or November of 2015, something like that.
Yeah,
I know it was cold outside. Yeah, but yeah, and I'm one of those sentimental type brothers, right? So like as he told you, that's how we met. He was playing Sam Cooke and I played Sam Cooke's best friend. Mm-hmm. So of course, when we did this play and doing research and everything and finding out that Otis and Sam were friends, of course, Terrence is who I wanted to be Sam originally. So we had the role written the first time we did the play, but we couldn't find anybody to fill those shoes because Terrence wasn't available. So we just had somebody read the part, and we didn't do a song. But this time we have Terrence, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I had just relocated across country, so I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it this time, but I didn't expect that we were going to be able to reprise the entire production and now it's a lot that has been added to the production since then. So being able to be back home during the holidays and be a part of this production is definitely something that I'm looking forward to.
I love that. It's, you know what I like. It sounds like you guys have a lot of it's like, it sounds therapeutic because I hear the healing that's going on stage. And, you know, if you're not an actor like me, I'm just a person who run my mouth and watch stuff, you know, so I don't act, I don't do any of that. So when I see the presentation, I'm just like so awed at people's ability to become either who they're depicting or, you know, just that raw talent. But what I'm hearing from you guys is healing, therapy, and relationship. I hear the community, you know, like, you get a relationship with somebody and you come back and you pull them in. And now you guys have this thing that you're doing together. And I love it. And I love the name. It's long, but it's sexy long. So
all right then.
Yeah.
So we gonna roll with that. I don't have no problem. I'm even saying Carltaise Ransom, Warrior, Hues, Manor. What's Africans?
Carltaise Ransom,
Royal Hues, Melanin, Manor, African Ensemble
Theater. You better get it right, Queenie. All right. All right, I got it now. So that, but I told him I love the logo. I think it depicts so much of what being African are. We're so multicolored and we need to come together. And if a play is something that's going to bring us together, that's a beautiful thing. It's not bad at all. So let's jump into Otis Untold, because a lot of us don't even know Otis Redding. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. You know, he's not. He died probably before we were born. His music is timeless, and he did so much in his young life. I'm hearing now that someone brought you a script. What made you guys wanted to expound on something that was really older, and we're in 2000, the 21st century, and that was something that was more than 30 years ago.
Can I tap in?
You can go ahead, yeah.
So Mr. Ben Presbury is a phenomenal actor, writer, director. He's an amazing. His aura, his spirit is just so amazing. Just to be in his presence. He's an older gentleman. He is our senior advisor on this project. He wrote something, a tidbit, a little piece of what Otis Redding was about. And that just was so intriguing. He sent it to Carltaise. Carltaise sent it to me. And we just flipped it back and forth a couple of times. We were like, it's so short. We need to expand on this. And so we both thought about what type of ideas we needed to add. And we walked away. He came back with some scenes. I came back with some scenes. And it was like, wait. Oh, yes. Then we were like, but wait, we still need, because Mr. Presbury wrote it as a one-man production, basically. And it was just, Otis was going to just tell his life story as an ancestor. He was already dead when the play started. He was just sitting, reminiscing, and that was it, which was amazing. But when you think about who he was and what all he really did, and to expand on that was easy because there's so much out there about him. But we pulled in his wife, we pulled in Aretha, we pulled in Sam, we even pulled in a special guest that's going to call him on the phone because he had some money. And what had happened was the military was selling some airplanes, but they were selling them to black men. So you know something wrong. They selling planes at a reasonable price to black men.
Run. Don't get on them planes.
And that's what basically somebody called him and said, I bought a plane. It's a piece of junk. I'm selling it for parts. You should do the same thing. I love it. Yes, baby. Do your research. Do your research.
I'm doing my research.
So that was the amazing part about it. So when you really look into it, and there was so many famous people calling him and popping up and showing up and telling him, get rid of that plane. I know it looks good. He was like, y'all just mad because a brother making it. He's doing his thing and I'm owning it. I own a plane, y'all. So basically that was his vibe. But to find out that there were a lot of malfunctions, he sunk a lot. After he bought it, he sunk a lot of money into it just trying to get it up to regulation. And it still didn't get this man where he needed to be. And the sad part about it was after, I'm sorry, I'm going to give it to you, Carltaise, in a second. But what we do at Melanin Manor. After our play is over, we don't let you leave. We do talkbacks with our audience.
Oh yeah.
So the specialness and the uniqueness in that, it brings the characters out to you, and the talkbacks get real. Like people listen, and I was just telling them facts about Otis and how, okay, yeah, he died, and the one person lived, and you know, just giving them all the facts about what really happened, and people were just like that was the room. It was silent, and the jaws were just like, did that really happen? And I'm sitting there like, yeah, y'all, we research on this one, so let me fill you in on what really happened. And to understand, you got to come see it. Everybody needs to come see it, because when you get you see the play, but after the play, when you get the rest of that information about the stuff that's not, you know, we couldn't make it 2-3 hours long. We had to cut it somewhere, but we still give you facts after it's over. And then the question and answers, people were just like, dag, man, this was really good. This room should be filled up. We should have sold out. We should have this. I'm like, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Tell all your family, friends, and church members to come next time. You know what I mean? So we do want to sell to a packed house. So thank you for having us. But go ahead. Carltaise, I know you want to say something.
No, I will say that we do have people that are returning to the audience who came the first time. So that's something right there, that they're coming back after seeing it the first time.
So tell us a little bit of when it is and how much it is. So I'm going to do that a lot. Like, all right, okay, well, when is it? Where is it? I want somebody to chime in, because we marketing it.
Well, I'll do it this time, and then one of y'all can say it the next time. When and where it is. It takes place on December 17th at 3 p.m. and Sunday, December 18th at 4 p.m. at the Metropolitan United Methodist Church Fellowship Hall at 1121 West Glanville Street, Baltimore, Maryland 21217. The tickets are $25. You can find them online at evolutiontix.com under Otis Untold, and there will be tickets also available at the door. But if you're going to purchase tickets online, please get out there and do that as soon as possible.
Putting that in. You said Evolution Tix, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm putting that in the chat so they can see it. Go get your tickets. Come through so we could talk about.
And that's also Evolution Tix is also a black owned ticketing service as well. So, you know, we supporting the black things up in here.
Right, Melanin Manor.
Business.
Melanin Manor. That's what you said it was. Melanin Manor. Okay, so this is a story that really it predates us, but I think his music.
I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Somebody tried to call, and now my sound is off again.
See, I love Tamika. I gotta stop talking to somebody calling her.
I'm here, but I can't hear. But I'm here. Hi.
Oh my Lord. So as I see,
did you ask me a question?
No, I'm just talking to everyone.
Okay.
And like,
okay, so I'm here. I'm sorry. I hate this, but
I love Tamika. But I really love that the music that predated us is like the fiber to the music we're hearing now. So this R&B that we, and it's not bad, you know, that every generation has their sound. But Otis Redding and the Sam Cookes and the Aretha Franklins and all of these people who you're bringing into play was the music of all music. You know, the music was so rich. It has so much texture, you know. And the difference in music now is it's on for a month and it's gone. Their music would be the whole year. You know what I'm saying? It's timeless. Their music is forever. Like, we didn't have digital movements. You know, we had DJs. Radios, so music would have longevity. You know what I mean? A song would almost get beat into your head so you know every word because it lasts forever. But now we have music that comes by and it's gone in 2 weeks, and then it's something else. So what songs? How did you kind of pick what songs you would play and put into the production to kind of move your story? Because it's so much talent in your cast. You got Aretha, you got Sam, you got Otis. Damn, how did you choose the music for this thing?
Well, it kind of came from how the story progressed, how we wrote it. The songs just made sense. They fit where in certain places in these scenes. Like, of course, we had to do These Arms of Mine because that was his first song. That was the first song that really put him on the map. These Arms of Mine. We picked Pain in My Heart because that takes place in a scene where he's actually about to get on that plane, right? And he's having a phone conversation with his wife, and she's telling him, you know, please be careful. She's really worried about him. So when he gets off the phone with her, he sings Pain in My Heart. As far as the whole thing with Respect and Aretha, a lot of people didn't know, which I just found out a few years ago, that Otis Redding wrote Respect, and he also recorded it. Okay. So there's a scene between them. I'm not going to give away too much, where Otis sings a little bit of his version, and then Aretha does her thing with Respect. And of course, you know, like one of his biggest numbers was his version of Try a Little Tenderness. That has to be done if you're going to be Otis. So that's how we picked that, because that's one of his biggest numbers, is Try a Little Tenderness. And there's some other songs in there too, like the Fa 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 song, which is like a call and response. We get the audience involved in the beginning of the show with that song, and the song Shake, which is another up-tempo song. And as far as Sam is concerned, I don't know if I want to give away too much with that, but there's a very important scene between Sam and Otis where we talk about the ancestors and everything, and the importance of listening to our ancestors when they speak to us while we're here on this earthly plane. And so there'll be a duet. That might inspire people to come out. There will be a duet between Sam and Otis. On A Change Is Gonna Come, because Otis was a huge Sam Cooke fan, and he remade a lot of he did his own versions of Sam Cooke songs, including A Change Is Gonna Come. He also loved
Nothing Can Change This Love.
Go ahead.
And You Send Me. He's covered quite a few of Sam Cooke's songs, and he looked up to Sam Cooke as an inspiration. It was he was a major influence in his music, and even some of his style of singing. He always looked up to Sam growing up as an artist.
And he loved Little Richard too. He loved Little Richard's music and James Brown's music. He started off singing more like them until he developed his own sound.
Sam Cooke, I just love to hear about Sam Cooke, because he was such an activist too. People don't know Sam Cooke loved Black people. Let's not get it twisted. He was such an activist, and he didn't play with the record companies. He was one of the first ones to own his masters. Sam Cooke was a powerhouse. And
we mentioned that in the play.
Sure do. He definitely was a force to be reckoned with, and he did not let people play with his stuff.
He was an activist, and he really loved Black people and his Black self, and he knew his value. And I think that's one of the when our great people go away, we hear it on the news, and then it's a story. We usually and they're just disappearing. But Sam Cooke didn't play.
Right.
I always got a lot of respect for him, and I wish his story was told a little more, so some of these younger artists would know that, listen, you have to value yourself and your music and your talent, regardless. And a lot of that's not happening out here. All right, so what else does this play give to the people? What else are you guys trying to impart? What is the impact?
I think
one of the biggest things that we look at is when you have different people from different areas come together. A lot of times there's chaos, there's controversy. When you can have multiple people in one room doing the same thing different ways, we like to show that. Like, it wasn't like Mr. Presbury gave us this play and we were like, oh, I don't like this. Let's such and such and such and such. It was like, no, let's expand on this. Let's be creative and see what else we can add, so that we didn't want to take him away from it. We still want to see him in the production. So that's one of the things. There's so many talented Black people in Baltimore. The theater world in Baltimore is very small. There are, when you say 6 degrees of separation, there are 3 degrees of separation with actors and actresses in Baltimore. So when we come together on a platform, it's like, you see me, I work with him on this, I work with her on that, but to get all of us in one room is powerful. It is really powerful. So to look out in the audience and see fellow lesbians out there that you work with, that you've seen, that's amazing. And I love to see production, when productions happen, actors and actresses support actors and actresses. Basically, that's what your audience is filled with, because we know what work it takes. So we want to see, how were you created? What did you do to make this spin just a little bit different? So we all support each other on so many different levels. But it's scary because if you haven't been in the theater world and you haven't seen what it takes to put on a production, you can't just come and sit in the audience and criticize and have remarks about it. You know what I mean? You just can't. You have to respect everybody on the level that they brought to you, because it takes work. It takes a lot of work to get these plays done. And when you see it done and it looks like it's as smooth as butter, it took work to get it there. So the respect is just amazing to see it from the theater world, to see people really support, like we do when we see somebody that we're working with. We're like, hey, did you know such and such is open and such and such? Oh yeah, all right, let me get a ticket, and we'll even go together. We'll go and support, even if I might not have had the $25 or $30 to buy the ticket that night, but because somebody that I know is in it, I can miss a couple chicken boxes. You know what I'm saying? It's worth it to make sure you go that extra mile, because support means everything, especially in the world that we're living in. We don't get paid to do theater most of the time. I've been doing theater almost all my life, and I can count on one hand how many production companies have actually paid me. So for us to do productions and work hard to pay our actors and actresses, it's not, even if they walk away with $20, it's something. And we pride ourselves on that. After we pay for the production, put the money back from the props that we had, everybody gets something. Everybody gets something. And that's one of the things that Carltaise started talking about from day one. And it was like, oh yeah, man, you see how many plays I do a year that I don't get paid for? I do it for the love of doing it. But now, oh yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and I also want to thank Mr. Ben Pressberry for his openness, because when we went to him, because we wasn't going to just start writing and adding to his play without his permission. So we went to him and he was like, go do your thing, man. You know, he was very open to us adding scenes. You know, we told him what we wanted to do and he was like, go for it. So I want to thank Mr. Ben Pressberry for being open to that.
I love that.
Yeah.
When is the play, guys? When and where? Hit me. When and where? Hit me.
It's one of your turns.
This is on December 17th at 3 and December 18th at 4.
Yes.
1121 West Landau Street.
What's the name of the
at
place?
the Metropolitan. Go ahead.
Metropolitan United Methodist Church.
Okay.
At 1121 West Landau Street in Baltimore, Maryland. The tickets are $25, which doesn't cost much. Like I said, these days, that's 2 chicken boxes. I promise you, you waste $25 on eating junk food. Buy them tickets and come on out and be entertained. Because I promise you, you won't leave the same as you came. You will get something out of this play, even if it's just an extra education on who Otis Redding was and how Sam Cooke influenced him and said, "Hey, bro, wait a minute, let me tell you something."
Okay, Tamika, I think I work for you. I tell you what, you are the conversation. You better believe it. We are here visiting. Tamika is everything.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness.
I can be the voice. I told you we can do an hour on us talking and chit chatting and just shooting the breeze. I promise you. I have a mouthpiece. I have the gift of gab. But when you're passionate about what you do and you're supporting somebody that is also, I mean, I have to give my utmost respect to my brother, because when he pours himself into a project, he really does. And it's like he comes and we give a date to be off book. Well, 2 weeks after we got on book, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna try this without my script." I'm like, "Okay, that's how you. Okay, go ahead." And I love that, because I know that's the dedication and the passion that goes into doing what we do. When you can put that script down and go and just embody what you. Yes, Carltaise does that. Carltaise does that, and I love that I can trust him. I don't have to worry where he is. I can trust. I trust. I know when he comes, he's ready. We did a play. I'm gonna just do this real quick. We did a play It was called The Good Life. And these two were best friends in that play. That's the one segment of the play that I was just like, can I direct now? Because I didn't have, they got up, they moved, they swayed, they flowed, they covered the stage. And I'm sitting here like, they were like, okay, give us some notes. Well, y'all don't need none right now. Just do what y'all did.
We got good energy together. I love it. I love it. So Terrence, when you have you said they wrote you in the script, or the state actually had a Sam Cooke. So are you ready? I mean, have you studied the script? Is it hard for you to do Sam Cooke? You said you depicted him again before. So this is a good thing for you. Do you feel any jitters? You can just go in and be Sam Cooke anytime.
So I definitely will say that his persona it does take a while to kind of like embody that.
Yes.
But it's not, I wouldn't say it's challenging, but it's definitely something that I had to, I gotta go watch some videos of him on YouTube and kind of like immerse myself back into like just seeing his aura and kind of like becoming that. Because he does have a swag about him, and so I want to make sure that comes across. But he's very charismatic as well. But he's also very, very, like you said, he's a strong activist and serious about his artistry, and he's also serious about uplifting his community. And make sure that he is valued and he is getting his full worth of, and he understands what his value is and his worth in society. So I think just reading more up about him in his life, and then also watching him is how I'm able to kind of like become more of his persona.
Yes, Sam had a lot of style. He was cute. Mm-hmm. The women loved him. So, I mean, he had a voice that was killing women. And so Sam was the man of his time. I mean, for real. I even asked my mom. My mom's 82, and she remembers Sam Cooke. Like, she was like, shit, Sam Cooke was the man. So I asked her today, because I know I was talking to you guys. I was like, do you remember Otis Redding? She was like, what? Do I remember Otis? So, I asked her, I always ask her, my mom, she can tell me. And she's like, these were singers that, I still know the words to their song. I still know that music. And that's when music is timeless. They were just real singers. Not that these young people aren't real singers, but these guys, they was just amazing. I mean, and they were young. They both died young. And so it's really unfortunate that we lost them so early and not being able to see them manifest the greatness into. I mean, what they left here is amazing. Imagine what they did if they had 10 or 15 more years.
Wow. And I think that's the best part. When you're sitting in the audience and you hear everybody in the back behind you, because I sit on the front row in the corner just to see what's going on in case I gotta pick something on the property. And to hear everybody singing, and that was amazing. That talk back was, and I don't mean to talk back after the play. They were like, "You better go ahead!" Oh, like they were yelling at him and screaming.
They were calling me Otis while I was singing. So that
they were like, "Oh, this, oh." They would sing. They knew the words. They were singing. They were rocking. They got into it. And then when he came closer, everybody was like, I saw him. They were like, "Oh, and Otis, he looked good." I'm like, let me find out these old ladies looking at him. Let me find out. But it was fun. It was fun.
That is funny. That is so funny. Let me ask you a question. When it comes, since it was so long ago, what do you think young people will get from a play that is about Otis Redding and someone they would never, ever come across? And they might sample, but they don't even know what they sampling sometimes. So what do you think a younger person would get from a play from Otis Untold?
Well, actually,
I would definitely say the rich cultural history that we have here. And like, I think that's the most important part, actually, is being able to reach those younger communities because they don't know their history. So I feel like most of the productions that we've done with the theater ensemble have always been empowering of our rich cultural Black American history. And I feel like that's something that, we've been able to reach out to other generations to kind of just show them what they're capable of and be an inspiration to them, but also teaching them this is where you come from. These are your roots. This is your ancestors. These are your ancestors. This is what this is the history that you come from. That's right here, in America, and we come from such a rich melting pot of Black cultural history here in this country.
Yeah, and I think the best part about what we do with our ensemble is because we have a duty and a responsibility to not only entertain, but to educate and to uplift. Because like we were saying, it's healing, it's power and healing. So we have grabbed younger people and had them like, oh, it's entertaining, and it has them at the edge of their seats really listening, because in the talkbacks, the kids talk back. They have questions and they're like, yes, and then what? And then how? And when are you going to do this again? Because when you introduce them to theater, the richness and the culture and everything that they gain, it puts them up a notch. It puts them up a notch. Just not going to the movies to see whatever and do whatever and eat your popcorn and go back and see it again because you were talking and you missed it. Because if you missed it, you missed it. So you got to pay attention.
Yeah, there were some younger people in the audience that their parents brought them there when we did Otis, and they were fully engaged in the show. They were listening the whole time, and they reacted during the talkback. And one of, there's somebody that was like 20 something that was there, and he said he enjoyed learning so much about Otis Redding. He didn't know who he was, but he enjoyed learning about him and hearing his music.
I like that. That's what I want to hear from you guys. I woke Terrence up. So Terrence came with that one. You're right. It's history. We, this is our history, and music, it comes from somewhere. Otis Redding had history. Everyone has history. So we need to know how music evolves and the folks who were a part of that. And so he's a name that just went away so quickly because he died so tragically, so quick, 26 years. And and we just keep moving on, because the blessing of being African is we continue to produce amazing talent.
Right.
That's just what we do. We continue to. It's not like you have to talk about. Like, I hear them talk about Elvis forever, but we can talk about music. I mean, serious. We can go down the line. Otis, Sam, Luther. I mean, James Brown. We can Michael. We just have Prince. We continue to make amazing music, amazing singers, amazing talent, and it's just what being African is, and it's a beautiful thing. But we still need to know our history and to know how music starts and where it comes from. So I'm really I'm hyped to see
paying homage to it.
What'd you say, Terrence?
I was saying paying homage to it.
Exactly.
And being proud of it.
And being proud of it. You're right.
And this play also brings out the importance of being connected and listening to our ancestors.
Yes.
As well. So, which is very important in our community that we do that. I mean, there are some people that try to get us away from honoring our ancestors, but it's very important that we do that. We have to stay connected to them, because they are us and we are them.
Yep.
So we have to honor that.
We have to honor that. I love that.
And
when and where, guys? When and where? Let's hit it. When and where, Terrence, your time. Terrence, when and where?
Oh, I'm sorry. December 17th at 3 p.m. And December 18th at 4 p.m. and is it 1121?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, 1121 West Lanville Street, Baltimore, Maryland. And it's at the Metropolitan United Methodist Metropolitan. Tickets are $25.
And I have that in the chat.
And they can be bought. Yes, and they can be bought on what's the website, Carltaise?
Evolutiontix.com.
Yep. That's in the chat.
Okay, so evolutiontix.com.
Yep. And you selling tickets at the door too, right?
Yes.
Always.
We know a lot of our people don't want to buy online. So.
I get it.
Not only that, they want to add their little tax and they want to get paid too. So if you want to come, bring your $25. We will take it at the door. We won't turn your way, because nowadays people are getting away from cash, and we take cash.
Oh yeah.
I love it. And sometimes it's good to be in partnership with churches because they have members. And, you know, when you look at the churches, most churches are older. So this kind of fits into what, you know, the music that they listened before they became holy rollers. Before, you know what I'm saying? This is the music, you know, and so that's probably a good space for this type of production because church folk love plays and this is their music, you know, and they can bring generations too. So I think it's a great marriage. It's a great marriage for you guys. So lastly, as we're 40 minutes in, and I'm telling you, I really appreciate you guys talking about this. I didn't know how this would go because Otis Redding, again, he died in 1967, before most of us were born. But that tell you how significant his life was that in 2022, we're doing plays about his life. I mean, most of us live and no one talking about you forever. And he's been dead. You know, that's the truth. And people are still producing material around his genius. So that shows how amazing he was. So when it comes to what you guys do with your ensemble, are you only doing African American plays and stories, or is this something that you're able to undertake any story?
Well, we focus on African American stories or from the African diaspora, most definitely, because that's who, I mean, anybody is welcome to come, but who we're trying to reach right now is our people because that's where it's needed. We need to heal us, and only us can heal us.
Absolutely.
And instill us to love each other, because that's where most of our problems stem from, is the fact that self-hatred is real in the Black community. So it's very important to us that we use the arts to inspire us to love us and to look at each other with our own people with compassion and understanding and forgiveness to other Black people. Because normally we are very compassionate people, but a lot of times we give compassion to everybody else outside of our people and don't always give it to our own people. We will hold a grudge against our own people over something petty. But we forgive everybody else for all type of atrocious things. So our focus is Black plays and us using that to heal us and empower us. Like the show that Tamika mentioned earlier, which was an original play that came about from a Black playwright contest called The Good Life. And it was about modern day Black Wall Street and what that would look like today if we were running our own town. And in that play, it shows forgiveness between two best friends, because there was something that happens in the play that, you know, breaks them apart, but they come back together. So you see two Black men have an issue with each other, but then they come back together. You know, she can say more about that too. She directed that as well.
I know I directed that as well. But the biggest part about what we do is because we're trying to open up different avenues for our community to understand how to heal, how to begin moving towards healing, how to start opening up the conversation. Because a lot of times it's like somebody does something to you, you just shut down and I don't like them. But it doesn't have to be that way. There are ways for you to, I didn't like what you did, but because I care about you, can we talk about this? Instead of, oh, I hate you, let me get a gun, let me shoot you, let me kill you. No, it doesn't have to be that way. Other people depict us as nature just being violent. Whereas I keep coming back to this, as lesbians, we have a duty and a responsibility to open up people's minds and to make them be creative without even knowing. We're educating you, Blue. You're getting some education tonight. So when you can have a conversation with somebody and get your point across without being disrespectful, that is amazing. That's powerful. And we've done that in a couple of the plays that we've done. We've done a play about Thurgood. We've done the play about Malcolm and Martin. And it's different things that, because it's entertaining, we pull you in. But while we got your attention, you're going to get a couple of subliminal messages in this too. So that's the best part about it, because you can get through and they don't even realize you just tapped something else inside of them that made them, you know what? Okay. You know what I mean? So that's what I love about what we do. That's the biggest part about what we do. Getting back to us, because a lot of times we don't heal. We're not expected to heal. Black people just take it and shrug their shoulders and keep on moving. And you wonder why she always got an attitude, she this, she that. Something caused that. But when you start opening up people's minds and making people understand you can heal, you don't have to accept that and let that be who you are. No, that's not what we're doing. I love you and I respect you, so let's talk about this. And that's what we're doing.
Well, I love that. And you know, what we do here at Black Box Radio is we love Black people. We love Blackness. We love Africanness. And you know, Black folks, we do have issues, but we're manifesting trauma. And so a lot of times I have a lot of grace for Black people because we say how we are, but there's ancillary things in place to promote this type of behavior. It isn't because Black people are this way, it's because we are traumatized. Right. And so when you see trauma being displayed, it manifests in sometimes it can be very dangerous. And so a lot of times we've not been able to deal with that trauma, and you see it being manifested every day in behavior. And so if we can be in a space where we are being healed, there's some therapy through theater, through the plays. That's a beautiful thing. And I love that. But I also want to give grace to Black people that, listen, a lot of the behaviors that we see is not because we're bad people. And right. A lot of times we have to define that. It's because we have a lot of trauma, and it's packed trauma, and it's continual. And we have to give ourselves grace that there's no group of people who have been able to do what we do and continue to live and go forward and still be traumatized. So I love
right. And we're still under attack.
We're still under attack. And we can't look at the behavior sometimes because the attack is nonstop. Right. But we have to do things like this, plays and use our talents. We're the most talented people in the world. Continue to display those and find places where we can heal. So I commend you guys for coming together and putting something together that teaches us, heals us, shows us love, and then builds community. Because a community that sees itself, it tends not to hurt itself because it sees itself, it's connecting with self. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I want to come to one of your rehearsals. I'm going to be up in there smiling with all my teeth and see the actual joint on December 17th. I'm going to hit it now. It's December 17th at 3.
Yes.
18th at 4. 1121 West Lambrell Street. That's West Baltimore. Come out. It will be at United. No, that's what I'm going to mess up. The church.
Metropolitan United Methodist
There you
Church.
Go. That's where we'll be in the fellowship hall, right?
Yes.
In the fellowship hall. So guys, come out. We all have to start somewhere. These young people are actually putting their money, their time, their genius into building something for everyone. We have to support it. We have to support it.
We've also done plays like A Raisin in the Sun as well, which is a well-known classic. We did that too. I think I mentioned that to you on the phone because I told you that Mama K from Woonward Productions played the mother in that, and I was Walter Lee, and that show got a lot of great feedback as well.
That's beautiful. So. I just saw that in New York. Recently. Great play. So listen, guys, I want each of y'all to drop a jewel on them. Tamika, let them go first, because I know you're going to drop the last jewel. And you're going to...
see, you ain't going to be doing that to the kings up in here, but go ahead, Terrence. Show them
something. I want each and one of you guys to drop a jewel, give us some inspiration, leave with the black boxes. And listen, guys, come out December 17th, December 18th, 3 p.m. and 4 p.m., West Lambrell Street, 1121 West Lambrell Street. Tickets are $25, evolutiontix.com. Hit it up. Get your tickets. All right. Who's going to hit that jewel first? Let's hit it. Terrence.
I'll go ahead.
All right.
So I think the most important thing that I can leave with is just saying, encouraging everyone who does have a talent, who does have a passion, to pour into your talent, pour into your passion. Just whatever you enjoy doing, understand that passion, the only way it's going to thrive is if you pour into it and you continue to use that talent in any way that you can. And I feel like that's something that we always have to remind ourselves, throughout life, You know, you're going to go through periods where you may not pour into your talent, but just always remember that it's there and you have a passion for it always. And I think there's a certain level of encouragement that you should give yourself and give to others with those talents.
Very nice. Love it.
Well, if you feel lost or down on yourself or walking around out here searching for a higher power, searching for what you think is God, I encourage you to look in that mirror at your beautiful Black face, because that's where God is, inside of you. That's where God is. People get offended when I talk about we are gods and goddesses, but that's in that book that's called the Bible. Know that ye are gods. God is us. God is in us. So we need to realize that, because that was one of the most important things to me. Of course, we're all raised to think that God is outside of us. So people are running around out here looking for God here and there. My most powerful thing that happened to me was when I realized that God is right here inside of me. And I'm in tune to that presence of God that lives inside of me. And if it wasn't for that, I don't know where I would be right now if I was still out here thinking about God as being as this outside presence or this outside entity. God is within us. So that's what I have to say. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right, sis. Lock us down. Give us it. Drop your jewel.
I know that's right. Good morning. Good morning. Understanding who we are as a people is one of the biggest things that we can always do. When we come together, we are powerful. We need to come together more often. When you have a talent and you're being creative, share it. Don't keep it to yourself. Even if I write a play and I don't want to produce it and I don't want to be involved in it, I'm gonna pass it on to Carltaise, because he might be able to flip it, spin it, and make it happen. So if somebody out there has a play and they want to see us do it, send it to us. If somebody out there has some thoughts and ideas, we are open to suggestions because we love us. So like I said in the beginning, being pro-Black is not being anti-anything. It just means I look at us and I try to find better ways to better us. So pouring into us makes us better as a people. I have children and now I have a grandchild. So if I can make it better for the next generation and the generation after that and set stuff in place so that they can have a little easier way. And I treat people the way I want to be treated. I give what I want to receive. So when you're pouring into somebody and you're receiving and you're giving and you're receiving and you're giving, then it's just a circle that continues to just feed us and give us what we need to move forward. And I hear you, Carltaise. Yes, God is in me. I use what God pours into me to pour into other people. So when we're doing what we need to do to get better, it doesn't always mean that we got to get rich off of it. But pouring into our community makes us rich. We all move forward if we're all pulling each other forward. So sometimes you don't even understand. I might go to a theater, a production, and see a play that changed my day. I might have been down and out, and something in that play touched me. So every time we do something, that's what we want. We want somebody in that audience, even if it's only one person, to leave with something positive that we poured into them that day. A lot of people don't care about that. They just want to put on the play. I act, I do theater, I this, I that. But if you're not pouring into your audience and you're not giving them something to take home, then you haven't done your job.
Okay. I knew you would shut us down. I absolutely knew it. Listen, are you in the play, Miss Tamika? You're not.
No, actually, I'm directing. So, yep. I'm sitting back.
I mean, she acts too, though. She does act.
I can tell that.
Theater. I definitely do theater, but as a director, it gives. I can let you see how I see, and giving the audience what I see is so powerful. I've been directing a lot lately, and I didn't think I'd like it, but I do. I do. I like directing.
It's a challenge. Yes, it is. Believe me, it's a challenge. And let me say this right quick. Of course, we need money. We all need money to live, but that's not my only goal in life, because if that's what I was about, I'd be doing things differently. I'd be putting all types of buffoonery out here, but I'm not doing that. That's why I'm very intentional with my film projects, to show Black people in a certain way and to show Black people loving each other and appreciating each other. I'm always very intentional about showing that in my film projects and so forth, showing Black family, showing Black friendships, showing us interacting with each other in a positive way that we don't always get to see, because normally they focus on the dysfunction in the Black community and highlight the dysfunction. And of course, there's nothing wrong with showing that, but that's all they show. They never try to show the healing part of it. They just focus on the dysfunction and keep magnifying the dysfunction and making it seem bigger and bigger and bigger without ever addressing it. So
I appreciate that. Listen,
yeah.
Otis Untold, December 17th, 3 p.m., December 18th, 4 p.m., 1121 West Lanville Street. I'm not going to say the church again, but it's 1121 West Lanville Street in the Fellowship Hall. Please get your tickets. evolutiontix.com. It's under Otis Untold. Come and find. This is oral history, actually. It's oral Black history. Come check it out. It's our music history. It is something that we all need to see. So, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on. It is the holiday time out of your night to share with Black Box Radio. We are so humble to have you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
I appreciate you guys. I usually make you guys sing, but I'm gonna leave that alone this time. I know you got yams and macaroni and cheese on your brains.
You got some candy sweet potatoes caught in the throat.
Yeah, you got some potatoes in your throat, so I'm gonna let y'all go this time. Because last time Carltaise was on, I had him singing like he was in a concert. So, but I sure did. But this time I'm gonna let that go. Sam, I'm gonna let everyone see you guys on stage on December 17th at 3 and December 18th at 4. Thank you guys. Have a blessed night. Can I get some deuces from the crew? Let's get some deuces up in there. Deuces. There we go. Deuces. We out here. Good night, Black Boxes.
Good night, y'all.